Hey folks, Jim here, producer of Around the House Show. You're loving the audio tips right now, but here's something new. Our full-length episodes and expert interviews are now on YouTube as video, so you can watch the demos, tool close-ups, and guest interviews, or just hit play and listen like a regular podcast. Just search Around the House Show on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, and turn on notifications. It's free, and you'll get the best of both worlds, visual how-tos when you want them, audio when you're on the go. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast app too. Thanks. And now back to the show.
Everybody stop what you're doing, please!
When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is no better show on your radio. This is Around the House with Eric G.
Where's the hammer?
From your back fence to the sidewalk, Eric will tell you how to keep it all in tip-top shape while helping you save a buck while doing it. If you like DIY projects, it takes a lot of practice to get good at it, and Eric is here to guide the way.
Is it on the, go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering.
All that and more on the fastest 2 hours of home improvement radio.
These are the wrong plans. These are the old plans. Oh!
Welcome to
Stop it!
Around the House with Eric G.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G. This is where we talk home improvement every single weekend. Thanks for joining us. This is the midweek special. This is where we talk about stuff that maybe didn't make it into last week's show, not going to make it into next week's show, and it's kind of our midweek update. Thanks for joining us, and if you want to go back and hear a subject that maybe you're working on, head over to aroundthehouseonline.com, and you can go to the podcast there. You can catch, I think, probably 600 now. Between there and SoundCloud, you can probably hit about 600 shows. We've got about 450 on the website right now, and then we do have an archive that you can email me, and we can go back into, way back even into the Handyman Bob days of Around the House with Eric G. So there is a lot back there. So if you're working on something and you want to review it, it's all up there on aroundthehouseonline.com. Well, this weekend, we've got a lot of different things we're talking about, and it's going to be a fun show, and I wanted to kind of expand on it before the show, because we're going to talk about one thing in hour one, and which is really going to be kitchen and bath design tips. And then, of course, we've got a whole bunch of different subjects in hour number two. And I wanted to talk about, kind of expand on our hour one discussion that we're going to be having, because we're going to be talking about those secret tips and tricks for kitchen and bath design. Now, I'm a certified kitchen designer. I've been designing kitchens for almost 30 years now. And so that is my wheelhouse, my background. That is where, you know, I've designed thousands of kitchens, thousands of bathrooms over the years. I've done everything from the smallest of spaces to the largest of high-rise projects where there's, you know, a couple hundred units in it of high-end units. So this is kind of where I go when I want to get back to a kind of just a regular design segment to help people out there. Now, one of the biggest challenges that people start out with when they first start thinking about designing a kitchen or a bath is color. And I want to talk about color, especially when it comes to cabinetry. Now, so many times you'll have, you know, oh, I want to do a white kitchen. Great. White kitchens are beautiful. But if you've got 2 or 3 little kids that are around that are anywhere from toddlers to, you know, younger kids, that's probably one of the worst finishes you could put in there. Or if you go, you know, I've always wanted a contemporary home. I got really, really nice contemporary taste like I do. And I want to really do this, and I've got kids around or even grandkids around. Maybe that high gloss finish is not what you're looking for. Here's why. When you get into white cabinetry, or even painted cabinetry for that matter, painted cabinetry in your kitchen is like what's on your car out in your driveway or in your garage. There is no wood grain there to hide any kind of wear, nick, scratch, ding. So if you've got a kid running around in their little push-around toy or anything else, the chance of that getting dented, dinged, scratched, chipped is high. And any of these doors, when they expand and contract, especially if you've got like an older finish on it, like a lacquer or something like that, that's where you get the cracks between the stiles and rails of the cabinetry. So you're going to see a lot of that. A regular wood door that's a framed door, so it's like a recessed door, a raised panel door, any one of those kind of a non-slab door, you're going to have those little minute hairline cracks that go between the stile and rail, and that's the frame that goes around the outside. So you're going to see that. I guarantee you will have doors that have cracked paint. And for some people, their OCD cannot deal with that. And so painted is horrible for that application. Now, if you're going to do a framed or any kind of a framed door, whether it's mitered or a traditional mortise and tenon, any of those, a wood door is going to give you a better look. Now, you can go all over the place on wood. You can go maple, you can go walnut, you can go cherry, depending on the wood tones you want to do. But make sure that your wood is the right tone for the stain you want. Here's why. If you take a maple door because it's a little less expensive than like a walnut door, and you want to stain it dark, it's going to be blotchy. Why? A blotchy cabinet door comes because, one, they're either going to hand apply a stain on a very hard closed cell wood. That's why they make butcher blocks out of maple, because things don't really like to soak into it. So what happens is you put a stain on it, and most people would spray this in a factory that's building cabinetry. They'll spray this, and it will kind of fog up and beat up on the surface. That leaves you kind of an area where it's soaked in a little bit here, soaked in a little bit there, and you traditionally have blotchy, dark finishes. So you got to get over that personally. And then the second part is the first time you get a scratch in it, you got this white wood beneath it. So it doesn't wear well either. Now it's hard. It's harder to scratch it, but it's going to wear fairly poorly because every time you get a scratch, you see this bright scratch mark because of the lightness behind it. So that's not a good selection there. So you want to grab a darker wood. Now, I know cherry can be difficult because some people do not like the red, amber, orange, any of those tones that come out of cherry. And you got to keep in mind with these woods, too, that cherry loves to darken with sun. Walnut actually lightens. It's very photosensitive as far as that goes. That's why walnut is not a great floor choice if you're in a place that got lots of windows in it, because those windows, you will have problems with area rugs, discoloring, because the area rug keeps an area from lightening. And I've seen a walnut, if you go to 60s mid-century homes, the walnut is almost blonde because it's aged so much. So that walnut is really just lightened up and lightened up and lightened up. Cherry will eventually do that, but you got to get it so far beyond dark, it almost goes into driftwood stage. And I've seen that actually in a cabinet display once. It was sitting in front of a window. It got force darkened, and then the UV light baked it so much, it finally just destroyed it. And then it was a very blonde wood, which was completely pointless. But that's one of the things I want you to really pay attention to. So the other thing is that you don't want to go diving into contemporary door styles where they're laminates, thermofoils, or acrylics. Now, that acrylic door is that, if you want to visualize a high gloss, Italian contemporary kitchen where it's super glossy, flat, maybe no door handles, finger pulls, that kind of thing, that stuff is awesome. But it's also probably the most delicate finish you can get. So a Scotch-Brite will ruin a door, and the Scotch-Brite is that scratchy pad on the back of a sponge. That'll just absolutely destroy the gloss on that door. So it's acrylic. It's easy to scratch. You got to be super careful with that. So that is a high-maintenance kitchen that you don't want to do much with, and it is not kid-friendly. Now, when you want to get into thermofoils, I am not a thermofoil fan. And what's a thermofoil? That's when they take a piece of MDF particle board and they shrink wrap vinyl around it, basically. So they put it in a vacuum, heat it up, shrink it around, it wraps around the outside. You saw those in the 90s everywhere. They were the white raised panel doors. You saw that had like a plastic eggshell texture to it. Yeah. Stay away from those because the glue's out there. That vinyl has a memory to it, so it likes to snap back to flat. And as soon as the glue dries out, guess what? You've got finishes coming off the doors and it's junk. That door style in itself has taken cabinet companies down and absolutely destroyed them. And I mean, it took down a Kohler Cabinet Company used to have a company Canic that was doing a lot of thermofoils. It ran them into the ground because of warranty complaints. So I have seen entire kitchens fail of that door. So just stay away from those thermofoils. They're just not going to be durable. If you want a white kitchen, get a white kitchen, but don't get the plastic one like that. They just don't hold up. And that's one of the things I want you to be careful with. Now, we'll talk more about this weekend finishes and what the material needs to be there and all those things. Stay tuned for more Around the House on Saturday. Thanks for listening.
Hey everyone, this is Jim, producer of the Around the House Show podcast. If you're listening right now, you already know we bring you the best tips, tricks, and expert advice to fix, upgrade, and maintain everything in your home without the headaches or the huge bills. But if you're catching us on the radio or borrowing a friend's phone, you're missing out on new episodes dropping straight to your device every week. So do yourself a favor, hit pause for just a second, grab your phone, and subscribe to Around the House Show on your favorite podcast player. Whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or wherever you listen. It's completely free, and you'll never miss an episode again. Thanks for supporting the show. Now let's get back to making your house work for you.